welcome back to another episode of PODMAS of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 11. So let's continue this conversation with unrequited love and just get more into exactly the trappings around it and how you could stumble, you could fall into unrequited love, because let's look at it from a harmless, oh, this person's my work bae. This is just a harmless flirt. Oh, I got a crush on my coworker. That is not harmless. It's actually something that could bring you down a slippery slope more than you think it could. And I'm saying that because as human beings, we are attracted to other people. We will not only have eyes for our partner. And if we are honest with ourselves and recognize, okay, I find this person attractive, let me just not go too far with this person, because you never know where it could go. You know what I mean? And I think when we are so fixated in the idea that flirting is harmless and that it's okay to have work baes and that, oh, it's okay to have crushes on someone outside of your partner, then we fall into this trap that, oh, it's okay to go out on this little date with someone outside of my partner. And all in all, to say, I see a lot of times, and maybe some people just have these open situations, but I see a lot of times there are people out here just going a bit too far. And I'm wondering if there's not enough conversation with self. I'm wondering if there is just not enough honesty with self. Because I just know myself. Let's just be honest, okay? I know myself, and I feel like even if you are married, okay? Even if you are in a relationship, I know I'm single, right? I know I am not tied to anybody. I know I don't have to explain myself to anybody. And with that being said, I can be more likely to flirt a little more, a little harder, a little deeper. I think a little bit. Okay, I could go a little bit more because I don't have an attachment to anyone. And when the person shows an inch, okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a mile. And then, the person may feel more comfortable. And then next thing you know, we're fucking. And that's not the route I want to go in when it comes to romantic relationships for me anymore. I've been in too many unrequited love situations. I could go back to my undergraduate years. I was with this guy. Oh my gosh, he's such a good guy though. And I'm just gonna say his name because I'll just call him Cheeks. And he's such a good guy, like just cool guy, super funny. I felt comfortable with him, just nice, respectful, and nasty. Let's just be honest, he was nasty. And what I mean by nasty is like he was just so unapologetically himself, and whatever he thought, he said whatever he thought he would say out loud. So whatever goes in his mind, he would just say it. He had no filter, and he just made you, I feel like when people are just honest, it makes me feel comfortable with you. And he just has an essence around himself where it doesn't come out creepy. There are people who are honest, but they have this creepy persona. But with Cheeks, he didn't have this creepy persona. And so he would, okay, so he was in a relationship for like his whole collegiate years, okay? And we were fucking, not fucking, but like we weren't, we were initially like messing around, doing whatever it is. And then eventually, we did end up having sex only twice though, because did I share this with you guys? I didn't end up having sex until my junior year of undergrad. So until my junior year. So how old was I? Like 20, 21. And that has a lot to do with me being so embedded into purity culture and growing up so fixated on the idea of waiting until marriage to have sex. And though I had peers around me having sex and, do whatever they want, I was just so consumed with fear of, oh my gosh, what if God comes down and strikes me dead? And two, I was so consumed with fear of instantly getting pregnant. And sometimes I still struggle with this, but hypochondriac is a little bit something that I struggle with from time to time. I would immediately think of the worst before thinking rationally. And with me, I noticed that sex was something that I was afraid of engaging in because my first fear, it wasn't even about STDs or AIDS for me or HIV. It was just, oh my gosh, I don't want to get pregnant. Because getting pregnant before marriage at a young age is seen to be a shame put upon the family, a dishonor put upon the family. And my worst thing, my fear was to put dishonor upon my family. My fear was to just disappoint my parents, and I did not want to do that. So I was deathly afraid of having sex, and I would go far, but as soon as it hit intercourse, I gotta go. I must leave now. That's how much I was afraid of engaging in sexual intercourse. And I remember one time in undergrad, and with undergrad, when you're living on campus, because I lived on campus, there's really no bedtime. There's no curfew. I know there was some colleges that did have that type of culture where you have to come back to your dormitory at this time. So you do have a curfew. You do have a bedtime per se. But the bedtime just looks like staying in your dormitory and just staying in there by the deadline. And if maybe you have a friend in the dormitory building who could let you in case your card locked you out because you're past the curfew. But for me, thankfully, God really, showed his grace, because throughout my college years, I never stayed in a dormitory. I stayed in the college apartments. So there was no such thing as bedtime for me, curfew time. I had my own freedom, really, and it was an awesome experience. So I remember one time there was this oh my gosh, these football players, many of them were really beautiful. And one of which I really just, oh my gosh, he was just so aesthetically pleasing. That's really what it was. He actually had a white girlfriend the time that I met him. But I guess in this time, he and his white girlfriend were off again. And I think he grew up in look, this goes back to my whole conversation about black men being with white women. It's like, okay, why? What happened for this relationship to develop? But whatever, love is love. I'm trying to be more open-minded. I'm not racist or, prejudiced. It's just interesting. I just have a couple of questions. So anyway, I think he and her were on an off period in their relationship, and he and I honestly don't even remember his name. Oh my gosh, what is his name? I can't even give y'all just some football nigga. Just call him football nigga. And so we would flirt here and there, and I had his number. We had each other's number, and so we were talking late at night. I want to say 1 a.m, because again, there's no bedtime. You are up when you're up. Niggas are up, and it's like, okay, I know I got class in 8 hours, but so what are you doing right now? I'm coming over. So he invited me over, and he lived in the same apartment complex as I did. So it was just a hop, skipping away. It was right around the corner. So I went over by myself, and I think his roommates weren't home, or maybe they were just in their room. But so it was just me and him. So I go inside, and we're watching TV. The I say that word, preliminary steps that you would take before fucking. That's what we would do first. So that was before Netflix ever came into fruition. We were just watching regular college accessible TV. And so we're watching TV, and then, he scoots a little closer, and then I'm scooting a little closer. Then his hand goes on my waist, and then, we're kissing, and then he's touching on me, and then he's about to reveal himself. He's about to showcase his goodies, not my goodies, his goodies. And I'm like, oh. And then, so we're still going a little bit more, right? So we're making out. He's about to reveal his goodies, his dick. Let me just stop saying goodies. And at this point, like, I'm still a virgin. So I'm not trying to do the next step, which is to insert his penis into my vagina. Instead, I'm just like, okay, let me just like tap his dick, or, did I suck his? I don't think I sucked him off. I don't remember if I sucked him off, but he ate me out, and it was pretty cool. And he then motioned to put his dick inside of me, and I'm just like, oh wait, we're doing that? I'm sorry, I wasn't ready. So I'm doing all this dumb shit, unprepared, immature. It really was immature, because I understand with this whole political culture that we're in, we should not assume that when a woman comes over a man's house at 1 a.m, that she is open and willing to engage in sexual intercourse. I know in this PC climate we shouldn't assume that, but bitch, assume. Like, it's the correct assumption. And because I was so naive and childlike then, and inexperienced in that sense, I was under that assumption. I was under the assumption that, okay, I know we will fool around, but we could just stop right at this point, because I've always stopped at that point with other niggas. So it just made sense in my head. So he didn't get upset. He wasn't rude. He didn't rape me, praise God. He didn't kick me out, but we just kind of ended it. I was like, oh no, I'm not ready, or I don't know how I finagled my way out, but it stopped right there. He did say, though, even though he wasn't upset, but I think because he's a respectful guy, he navigated himself well enough in that moment by saying, oh, well, I thought, like, I would assume that you was gonna, have sex, because that's why you came at this time. Like, you can't be coming over at this time and not have sex. And in that moment, I'm just like, oh, I was literally saying that. But the point is, there is just a delay in maturity when you're inexperienced in that sense. And then you find yourself falling into this, like, somewhat of a trap where, okay, I know you have a situation going on, but you're cute. I'm dope. I'm cute. You invited me over. Let me take this bait and let me just go ahead and go. And even though it's college, I feel like sometimes college should be wiped away in as far as your relationship history and your relationship patterns. But I think we should recognize and honor just the pattern in our previous relationships, whether they are under the context of college or not. Because for me, like I said, I've been so well versed in being the side woman, the side chick, the sideline hoe, whatever it is, because I've just always seemingly found my way in those positions. The person could just have a situation going on. Oh, they got an argument with their girlfriend and now they're no longer with them for the moment, or they do have a girlfriend but she's out of town, or there's some type of opening for me, but the opening isn't set in a in a pure way, because the opening is just, oh, well, she's out of town, so you want to come over? Oh, well, she's on one, she's wilding it out, I don't know if I want to be with her, so you want to come over? And then in my immature naivete, I would think, okay, well, they're on their way out. I could just finesse my way in and he'll be my boyfriend. And what I noticed with me too, I would look at these men, and when I would see them with their girlfriends, I would think, oh, I want that. Like, I want that, whatever that is. It looked good. It looked like a happy situation. It looked like love was in the energy, in the room between these two people. And I want that. And me wanting that ended up me wanting and fucking and fooling around with that man who is unavailable because he has a girlfriend. So there is just something going on with my own wants and desires for finding my way in these positions. Because again, as humans, we are attracted to people outside of our partners, and that's normal. But when we don't have honest conversations with ourselves and realize, okay, this person is not available. And I understand with the whole, well, you gotta be a better woman. You're not a girl's girl, because why would you do that to another woman? Like, I don't give a fuck about that. Shut the fuck up. That's number one. But number two is really about, why is it that I am like attracting this energy, this spirit, this something, whatever it is, I have been attracting it, and I have been putting myself in this position. And when I think about just overall, it's just about this unavailability that I am engaging in when it comes to my romantic relationship. So pretty much everybody's been unavailable for me, whether it is, okay, maybe they are single, but they're just not in a position to love right now. They are doing their casual thing and they're just not interested in locking it down with me. Or they're just not in a position right now in their life to lock it down. And I just so happen to be the person that they're just saying no to in that moment, whatever it is, or they just damn right out have a significant other. And so when I say it's dangerous to flirt heavily with someone who is in a marriage, in a relationship, I'm saying it because anything could go down. Trust. I know. I could tell you so many stories of things going downtown, uptown, downtown, east downtown, west down. It's going around. I can tell you so many stories of just opportunities had with unavailable niggas. And 2021 is when that ends. I'm gonna give it a few more days. I'm gonna give it a few more motherfucking days. But 2021 is when that ends, because it's not fulfilling. Ultimately, it's just not fulfilling to know that, oh, I just really flirted. And it could just not even be a sexual thing, right? Before we even get to the sexual thing of it all, it could just be, wait, I'm feeling these butterflies and I'm doing these googly eyes, and he's, or whoever is responding with that same energy in return, and we'll say these cute little things to each other. And then I'll go in my car alone. I'll drive back to my space, my residence alone. While you are driving home to your family. It's just a fantasy. It goes back to the fantasy that we create in our minds when we are engaging in flirtations with people who we should not be flirting with. So it's not to be a Debbie Downer. I know it's fun. Trust, the fun has been had. But as soon as the door closes, as soon as he or she gets a call from their significant other and they're in your presence and you have to shut up because, oh, he's on a call, she's on a call with their significant other. It's a reality check that, oh, I have no place here. I don't have a place in this reality that I think is a reality, but it's really just a mind fuck. It's really just a fantasy land that we're living in. I remember one time with this is another so this is the first football player I was talking about, Cheeks. The other football player, I forgot his name, but that was those are two different guys, and both of them were unavailable. So let's talk about Cheeks. So Cheeks I remember one time I was over his dormitory. This is all in undergrad. And, we chilling, we cooling, and our vibe, mind you, our vibe is amazing. I could go back and think about how joyful I felt with him, how excited he made me feel. And there were many times where he'll just sit back and look at me and say, man, I really like you, Maxine. I really like you. And it'll just, we're just in a high. We're in a high and it feels so good. It feels like a real thing. It feels like, wait, this is something that's real. I could go there. But then I realized, oh, wait, you have a girlfriend. Then I realized, oh, wait, there's someone and I'm the someone else. I'm not the someone, and I haven't had the opportunity to be the someone. And so I'm tired of popping out of that fantasy, that mirage, that facade that I'm in, and that being popped like a balloon. And then I'm in this space of just this I'm from a high and I'm in a low space, and I'm thinking, oh wait, this wasn't the real thing. Oh wait, I'm just gonna go back to my reality. And so I just want to do things differently. When you realize there's a pattern in your behavior and you're trying to do something different, and yet you continue to do the same thing and expecting something different. We all know what that is. Insanity. I don't want to be insane anymore. I want to flirt with you in real life, in fantasy life, and it be the same thing in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to feel so good that it's not just all in my head. It's actually something before me. We are actually driving off together, or I'm meeting you, because we might have separate cars, obviously, but like, you're not going home to your family. You're coming home to me. We may live in different spaces, but you're not living with your significant other. You're not with you don't have a significant other. I'm your significant, I'm it. I'm that bitch. So 2021 is when that begins. I have about 10 days to get that started. Until then, every unavailable nigga, what's good, what's up? I'm kidding. It's a joke. Key. But no, I am making the cautious steps to not be in unrequited love situations anymore. I want to try something different. I know how that feels. I know how that sounds. I know how it feels to be with someone who can't really be with you, and the passion and the thrill of it all. Yay. But I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna go a different path. And I'll bring you guys along with me, because let's try something different. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow on our last episode of PODMAS. Be well, be great. See you tomorrow.